I don't know if it's.
Yes, doctor. We'll check. We'll check.
All right. Okay. Namaste, everyone. Welcome
Namaste.
to the session. I thank you all for joining. I'm very grateful to see you all. Very happy to see you all. And again, this will be the first session. We are talking about blood cancer awareness, and we'll be discussing about many more topics in the coming sessions. We have now decided to have weekly sessions with all our doctors and all our family members, all our patients across. Today, we are mainly going to talk about cancer. Okay, this is the word that again. Shall I begin? I hope my audio and video is clear. I hope. I hope.
Clear.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. Once again, thank you all for joining. Um, yes. So this word again, cancer. It is something that you know. Mhm. Okay. So this word really scares us. Although it is very very common to see cases of cancer in today's time. For some people, due to the advancement in treatments with the modern science, due to advanced Ayurveda treatments and treatments across the globe, we see we can deal with cases of cancer very easily. Nevertheless, as a patient, when we understand कि कैंसर हुआ है, ये सच में हम सबको बहुत तोड़ देता है. It really breaks us down. Now, whether it is any disease, whether it is a skin disease, whether it is a case of cancer, whether it is a joint pain, whether it is anxiety, whether it is insomnia, any disease, it is very obvious that it can break us down. दरवाजा बंद कर दो, या दरवाजा खुला है? Open, keep it open. Yeah. All right. So before we start the session, I really want to start with a short video, and I'm very, very sure this video will really help you a lot. And I will personally start with this video because this has really changed my life, and I have seen this video more than 100 times. Okay, so I'll really share that video first. Put all the participants on mute. Mute everyone. Can you all see the screen? I was unable to share it, so I'm really sharing this video and I'm really looking forward that we all watch this video. Can you see the screen, please? Yes? Shall we? This will be in Hindi. If you don't understand Hindi, I will explain you. So don't worry. Okay?
मैंने गुर्दों को फिर से सुधरते देखा है, यहाँ तक कि कैंसर भी ठीक हुए हैं, आंखों की रोशनी तक वापस आते देखी है मैंने। मैं मानता हूँ लाइलाज का इलाज हमारे मन में है। अपनी जिंदगी आप बदल सकते हैं, खुद को ठीक कर सकते हैं।
10 मार्च 1981 का दिन मैं कभी नहीं भूल सकता। इसने मेरी जिंदगी हमेशा के लिए बदल के रख दी। मेरा प्लेन क्रैश हो गया था।
For those who don't understand, I am there. Rahab ma'am. Rahab ma'am comes in our Dubai OPD. Ma'am, I will explain you. Don't worry. Let us complete the video first.
मेरी रीढ़ की हड्डी कुचल गई थी। मेरे पहले और दूसरे सर्वाइकल वर्टिब्रे टूट चुके थे। मेरी निगलने की शक्ति नष्ट हो गई थी। मैं न खा सकता था, न पी सकता था। मेरे फेफड़े नष्ट हो गए थे, तो मैं सांस नहीं ले पाता था। मैं सिर्फ पलकें झपका सकता था। डॉक्टरों ने कह दिया था कि मैं जिंदगी भर बेजान सा रहूंगा, बस पलकें ही झपका सकूंगा। ये उनकी सोच थी, इससे मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा।
I will just stop here. As he said, ये उनकी सोच थी. They said that I could never do anything except, making changes in my eye movements. But as the patient said, ये उनकी सोच थी. This was their thought. This is nothing related to me. Let's continue.
मैं क्या सोचता था? मैं अपने आप को एक नॉर्मल इंसान की तरह देखने लगा, जो अस्पताल से चलकर निकलेगा। मुझे सिर्फ अपने दिमाग से काम करना था, और अगर दिमाग आपका साथ दे तो आप चीजों को फिर से समेट सकते हैं। उन्होंने कहा मेरे फेफड़े बेकार हो चुके हैं और मैं फिर कभी खुद सांस नहीं ले पाऊंगा, लेकिन अंदर से एक आवाज मुझसे कहती रही, गहरी सांस लो, गहरी सांस लो। खुद सांस लेने के काबिल हो गया। वो समझ नहीं पाए कि ये कैसे हुआ। मैंने अपने दिमाग में किसी ऐसी बात को नहीं आने दिया जो मेरे लक्ष्य और मेरे संकल्प को मुझसे अलग करती। मैंने ठान लिया था कि मैं क्रिसमस के दिन अस्पताल से चलकर निकलूंगा। यही मेरा लक्ष्य था। 8 महीने बाद मैं खुद अपने 2 पैरों पर चलकर अस्पताल से बाहर निकला। उन्होंने कहा था ये नामुमकिन है। वो दिन मैं कभी नहीं भूलूंगा। वो लोग जो इस वक्त इस प्रोग्राम को देख रहे हैं और जो किसी तकलीफ में हैं, अगर मुझे उनको अपनी जिंदगी का सार बताना, और अगर मुझे उनकी जिंदगी का सार बताना हो, तो मैं 7 शब्दों में कहूंगा, इंसान वही बनता है जो वो सोचता है।
Okay. Yeah. So coming back to the session, very important. Uh, we see almost 100 patients a day, and we almost see that most of these patients, the only reason that stops any patient from healing is if there is anything that can stop them, it is only their own self. uh, you know, Even when we start a new office or we start a new year, we start some new work, we always started with a sankalp. We started with the puja, like any puja, the brahmachari will, or the Brahmin will always say, let's do a sankalp. So it all starts with a sankalp. It all starts with that thought. All starts with a vision. So whether it is a skin disease, whether it is insomnia, whether it is a serious disease, if any patient has a sankalp, has a sure point that I am going to do it, if he sees that vision over here, then the road is very, very easy. And we see most patients, we are always in that circle considering cancer. If at all there is a serious, heartbreaking disease like cancer, we always keep repeating, I have cancer, I have cancer, I have cancer. I have seen patients over here doing scans every month. The research has already proven the raise of the scans on how it increases the tumors. That's a scientific part. Nevertheless, our brain involved in it, which is 10 times more effective. If we see the stories of great warriors, one of them being Louis Hay, and so many different, it is well proven that mind is very much important when it comes to curing any disease. As at Jyovis, you all are, with us as a family, and you all are with us with some or the other autoimmune disease. Some come with pemphigus, some with psoriasis, some with insomnia, some with joint pain. Whether it is any autoimmune disease, we need to understand that your body's own immune system attacks your own body organs. This is autoimmune disease. And why this inharmony is seen with our own body is only because of the thought process. If the mind has a clear direction that I am going to get well, if the mind is getting the clear direction that I am already well, the roadmap is very, very easy. And hence, every day we see a lot of people and we understand that why this patient. Now, today we had Aman Sharma, one of our patients, full body, serious skin disease, where two sweepers used to come to clean when he used to sit. But today, when we saw, he was very happy, he shook the hand, and it's been 1 month that his skin has been all clean and clear. The mind plays a very, very important role. Today, me and my doctors, we had a discussion. What do you think, doctor? Why this patient? We like, look at his attitude. He's been so positive. And I think the day he came in, he had a clear vision. Sir, I know you'll do it. I know I will do it. I know he will do it. So he'd already designed in his brain ki he could imagine himself that is already well. With great cancer warriors, I'm coming out of the topic, but for great cancer warriors, they already imagine their self without a disease. They already imagine their self with a normal, healthy lifestyle, with a lifestyle or with a life or with a day that they want or they wish for, basically. Right? I hope you can link. I hope you can understand. You can resonate with what I'm saying. Yes, no, yes. Everybody? Okay, thank you. Thank you for reciprocating. Yeah. So, very important is I'll just share a story. Like, when I was in my first year of medicine, the first year of Ayurveda medicine and surgery. So, in that kind of, medicine and surgery, we used to see that when you used to study the cause of a disease, causes of fever, causes of psoriasis, causes of eczema, causes of joint pain, causes of different diseases, we always used to see in reason rag, dvesh, jealousy, grief. And I'm like, Ayurveda, what is it talking about? Like, it's a scientific science, it's a medical science, it's the world's first science. Why isn't it talking about the main problem? Why is it really talking about all these mind related issues? The imbalance of the Rajogun, the imbalance of Tamogun. Why is it talking about all these factors? Why is it not talking about the main points? Why is it said about anger and grief and insomnia and indigestion? Why does it always highlight indigestion? Why? Why does it always talk about hunger? Why is it said that every person must have proper hunger? In staulia, weight loss, it is always said the patient must have good hunger. Why? So we used to always think about these points, and years of practice later, we understand the depth of what Ayurveda really meant is to cure the root cause of any disease. The three things are very, very important. Number one, like the course itself, the course is Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery, right? So the course is BAMS. So the four letters stand for B. B is bowel movement. A is appetite. M is micturition, the urine. And S stands for sleep. So years later, we figured out the full form of the degree that we did, BAMS, which is that every patient, if they have their BAMS corrected, the patient is considered as stable. So always when we have a medicine plan, we must always make sure we have a lifestyle, we have a thought process, we have a diet, and we have a schedule plan in a way where we have their BAMS corrected. Okay, so the whole point of sharing this video was to give you that mindset that the vision starts from here. As this patient was told that he can never move in his life, but he wrote it. Although he was never able to speak, he wrote it and he showed it to the nurse using the finger or using his letters, by shaking his head, by moving the eye movements. He said that I will walk from here by Christmas. He decided that in his brain, he did that sankalp, and automatically he started breathing, and automatically we saw the changes, and by Christmas he was out of the hospital. So it all comes from a vision, right? So any kind of a disease you have been suffering since years and years, let us all come together. And the whole point of view of sharing and having this meeting is, let us all come together and put attention on things that we want. Because if we focus on good skin, we'll get good skin. If we focus on the melasma, the melasma will grow. If we focus on vitiligo, the vitiligo will grow. If you always say, no, I don't look good, it will not look good, right? Focus on what you want. Where energy goes, where attention goes, the energy flows. So if you put your attention on one thing, the energy will always flow. If you have patients over here, it's okay for patients to complain that, sir, I have pain, I have issues, I have this. It's okay. But immediately the partner, the kids, the mother immediately says, sir, ye pura din yahi baat karti hai. Full day she's saying the same thing, right? So the attention and the energy is always behind the same thing. So focus on the good patches, and trust me, in few days time we will experience the other skin affected disease condition will also be as where the focus is going. So again, where attention goes, the energy flows over there, right? And again, cancer is a disease where millions of survivors and millions of success cases you will experience, where doctors have told the patients that there is no life, and the patients with only one thing, which is sankalp, with that one vision, they experience complete reversal. So my question to you is, if a serious disease like cancer can be destroyed with a strong vision, then what is insomnia? Then what is joint pain? Then what is psoriasis or acne pimples? In many of the cases, we experience, like today I was telling one of the patient that cancer is cured, but the acne pimples are not getting better. Why? Because 24 hours, she's every 10 minutes looking in the mirror. I only have this skin. This boil is not going. 24 by 7, the vision is only on that acne. So attention goes, the energy will flow, the acne will increase. And tons of patients of serious skin diseases we have experienced, when their energy is positive, when their vision is positive, the disease reversal starts, like the process starts then and there itself. If you understand, if you reciprocate, give me a thumbs up. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we're talking about blood cancer. It is the most common type of cancer, which is blood cancer. There are three types of blood cancer, which is leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma. I'm going to talk about from a very layman perspective so that every healthy layman can easily understand what is blood cancer. They can have an understanding of it. They can take measures. They can never ignore, as it is very common. They can never ignore. They can save their family members by understanding the disease at a very early stage, and they can also take the right steps required to have a healthy body. In this particular session itself, we'll talk about that. Okay. I really appreciate everyone for joining. I see all people. Jenti ma'am is there, Bhavini ji is there, Anand ji is there, and our favorite Sadhna ma'am is there. Everybody is there, so I'm very happy to see you all. Thank you so much for joining. Okay. So cancer in the bone and bone marrow and the blood is called as blood cancer. As I said, three types: leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma. We'll understand with the most common type of blood cancer, which is called as leukemia. Okay, very easy. Leukemia is divided into four types. Four types. We'll understand in very, very simple language so that you can simply grasp and you can simply understand. Okay, so acute leukemia, chronic leukemia. Leukemia is divided into two parts: lymphocytic leukemia, myeloid leukemia. In lymphocytic, again, acute and chronic. In myeloid, acute and chronic. Lymphocytes is the lymphocytes. Myeloid is the myeloid cells. Okay. Acute is something which is very acute emergency. Chronic, which is slow growing problem. Slow growing is commonly seen in old age people. Acute can be seen anytime. It is commonly seen in the early days of birth. Acute, chronic, acute myeloid leukemia, acute lymphocytic leukemia. We will also understand that. Okay, there's a question. What was it? Please tell me, what types of disease are we covering? We're only covering blood cancer, but from 360-degree point of view, and we are covering the investigations and the symptoms, and the treatment is something that I want to highlight. I don't want to highlight the subtypes and how you can diagnose in the medical terms. I only want to highlight how you can save yourself and your loved ones, how you can identify, and what would be the simple steps to be taken as a test. As a test. So this is going to be like a general knowledge. Okay. Four types we commonly saw. The most common type is CLL. It's very important for everyone to have a basic understanding about blood cancer, because in today's time we see as the commonest form, right? Chronic lymphocytic leukemia is the commonest type of blood cancer. We see in this. Why am I sharing this part? Why am I sharing? Because leukemias are commonly seen in those people who are under an exposure of benzene, who work at petrol pumps, who are exposed with chemicals. So chemicals, pesticides, benzene, petrol pump, we see they are commonly affected with such kinds of conditions. We're talking about second form, which is called as lymphoma. Lymphoma are divided into two types: Hodgkin lymphoma, non-Hodgkin lymphoma. I'm simply talking about the types, and then we'll understand how do you, understand and relate and everything, right? First was leukemia, second was lymphoma, and third we're talking about myeloma. If you need notes of any of this, I can share a screenshot so that you all can have an easy understanding of the topic that we are discussing. Myeloma, myeloma is simply the cancer of the plasma cells in bone marrow. Over here, what we are talking about is how do you really understand that the patient is showing the symptoms of blood cancer. For any kind of cancer, two symptoms are very common. Is the first question that an Ayurveda doctor asks any patient, which is, how is your hunger? If any patient says, my hunger is gone down, and it's really down, I don't feel hungry at all, my appetite is gone down, it's a serious concern. In Ayurveda, it is said that Jwar, which is fever, is the first disease, is the most serious condition that we must look for. Why? Because in fever, we experience that the appetite goes down. So again, in this, appetite going down, and second, weight dropping down. So weight loss and loss of appetite is said as the commonest symptom when it comes to any cancer condition, right? So we see initial cancer, we must have the proper scans and the test for a better understanding. If we have, I'm not talking about 2-3 kilos weight loss or 5 kilos weight loss. I'm talking about drastic weight loss and drastic loss of appetite. Then all of a sudden, if you experience that from your skin, there are some bruises, there is some bleeding, there is shortness of breath, there is night sweats, sweating at night. All of a sudden, you're losing some blood, you're bleeding from your skin, irrespective of you're having any cut, wound, bruise, no, but you suddenly start bruising. You're experiencing persistent infections. Every 50 days fever, every 70 days fever, every 10 days there is fever. You experience there are joint pain, there is a lot of tiredness, and this tiredness is something that is chronic. The tiredness is just not going. I'm not talking about those weaknesses which are involved with a lot of mental imbalances. We get more tired by watching 1 hour of reels than working out for 1 hour in the gym, and I'm very sure about it, right? 1 hour of reel can really exhaust us compared to 1 hour of hardcore workout. Okay, so tiredness, we experience that there are swollen lymph nodes in the neck, underarm, groin area. There can be swelling, there can be swollen lymph nodes. We press, we experience that there is some pain, like how ma'am had it. Yeah, exactly. We started Krishnavalli, right? So touch and there can be pain, swollen lymph nodes, persistent infection, persistent fever. When you do a simple CBC blood count, you experience that your blood, your WBCs, your whole blood cell, your WBC count has, your WBC has increased. So if you experience your WBC has gone on roof, like it is raised, it can be a sign and symptom that the condition has somewhere serious, and you need to have a proper investigation and a proper checkup for the same, right? How do you really diagnose? Is the number one step is you do CBC, as I already explained. If anybody over here has loss of appetite, persistent infection, weight loss, the most common type of a blood test that one must do is a CBC, and our whole eyes should be on the WBC. If WBC is normal, we don't need to think at all about any of such condition. And remember one thing, this is awareness. This is not drawing your attention to the condition. Because one of those times when there was no awareness, not much people were affected. And because there is so much of awareness and so much of seriousness with negative impact, we see cancers are so common. There is an example that we commonly, hear is that politician wins whom we curse the most. That politician wins whom we curse the most. Why? Because all the attention is drawn to that politician. How many agree? Right? So whether it is positive or negative, whenever the attention is going, the energy is flowing. He will win. Right? Agreed. Yes. So my whole goal is to just have a basic understanding and not to keep on thinking about that problem at all, right? Whenever we have this persistent infection, persistent fever, persistent weight loss, persistent fever and all this, we must just do a CBC. That's all. The whole diagnosis part is, first is a CBC, then there is a CT scan, there is MRI, there is a CA-125 blood test. If there is a case of bone marrow cancer, which is blood cancer, there is a most common test that is done, which is called as BMT, which is bone marrow test. This bone marrow test is specifically done to check whether it is acute myeloid leukemia or it is chronic myeloid leukemia. This is a bone marrow test. And how this test is done, there is aspiration done at the bone marrow to understand whether it is a sample is taken. Basically, it can be taken from the bone marrow, it can be taken from the bone of the hip bone, breastbone, to understand whether the sample that is taken for aspiration, it is given to the lab and it is shown whether it is normal cells or the cells are abnormal. So a BMT test is the first test that is advised to the patient. Second, there are some tests which is imaging tests to understand the enlarged lymph nodes. In some cases, if it is a lymphoma, it is a cancer of the lymph node, a part of the lymph node is taken or the entire lymph node is removed and it is given to check to understand whether it is a case of lymphoma or not a lymphoma. In cases of multiple myeloma, there is a condition called as multiple myeloma, which is the most common case of myeloid cancer, which is the cancer of the plasma cells, the myeloid cancer. Three types of cancer: leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma. The most common part of myeloma is multiple myeloma. And there is a common blood test which is done in every case of blood cancer to rule out this myeloma. How do we understand? Is this test is done to rule out multiple myeloma, which is called as blood calcium level. Blood calcium level. If we test for blood calcium level, if the values are irregular, it takes us to a direct diagnosis that this could be a patient of hum bhi saath mein hai, please slow. Yeah, sure. We'll go very, very slow. Okay. And we'll do a revision also to understand in a layman language, right? Second part, what did we see? Second part is how do you diagnose lymphoma? So there is a most common blood test that is done, which is called as LDH. LDH, lactate dehydrogenase. Lactate dehydrogenase. This is a blood test that is taken to understand whether this is lymphoma or not a lymphoma. So we simply saw three blood tests. First is a bone marrow test, which is for leukemia. Then we saw LDH, which is for lymphoma. And then we saw a blood calcium level, which is for myeloma. Are we very, very common? Are we understanding this? Easy? Whenever any patient experiences that their WBC count has increased, these are the three common tests that are done. How do you take care of it as a patient? Is you have to take care of yourself, is that you don't have frequent, exertion, frequent weakness, frequent bruising, bleeding, weight loss, loss of appetite. If at all this is the condition, you need to really check with the doctor. Okay. My next point of point of explanation is that what is the food that we need to take care of? What is the food we need to take care of, and why do patients land up to this problem? And this is the main part what I want to highlight is from Ayurvedic perspective. Like from modern perspective, if we understand there is chemotherapy, targeted therapy, immunotherapy, radiotherapy, stem cell therapy, but who is talking about why this condition occurs? What is the big reason behind blood cancer? Why does blood cancer occur in the first place? Why? Right? So Ayurveda talks about Raktaj Arbut. 6 types of Raktaj Arbud was explained years ago. And as per the principles, if I relate this entire case as per my understanding of blood cancer, we experience the first step to how this begins in most of the cases is Adhik Aushad Sevan. What do I mean by this? Adhik Aushad Sevan is over and over again, consumption of medication. We see tons of people consuming tons of medication for simple to major problems. We experience people taking a antacid medicine so that they don't have acidity tomorrow. We see so many people taking a paracetamol so that I don't have fever tomorrow. So the most common cause of how the system gets inflamed is when you take medicine when it's not required. A. Second, you start with an antibiotic course, you feel very confident, you feel you're cured, and you stop the antibiotic. Third, here there is a comment, even herbal. There was a question, even herbal. My answer to that is, if you take a Ayurvedic medicine from a preventive aspect, from a curative aspect, from a classical licensed Ayurvedic practitioner, no harm. But if you take an Ayurvedic medicine as a prasad of a Baba outside a temple, we take Giloy Vati achhi hai, to saal bhar hum Giloy Vati lete. If you take that medicine as a prasad, if you take that medicine unknowingly, if you just confirm it with your friend who's a doctor, no problem. There are some medicine that I have seen. For example, the most common medicine in Ayurveda is Arogya Vardhini. Arogya Vardhini is 50% of Kutki and 50% of other medicine. It is said, it is experienced that more than 45 days, Arogya Vardhini cannot be taken. But Arogyavardhini is helpful in 100% of cases of all different disorders. Arogyavardhini. That doesn't mean that you take it all throughout the year, which we've seen tons of people. So whether it is an Ayurvedic medicine, allopathic medicine, if it is taken under proper practitioner, proper supervision, then again it will improve your life. And having a holy and a natural science like Ayurveda, it is meant to improve your overall body's mechanism. It is meant to do the Vayostapan, which is to have an anti-aging effect. In Ayurveda, there are six branches that are 8 branches that are explained, which is Ashtanga Ayurveda. Kaya, Bal, Graha, Urdhvam, Shalya, Damsta, Jara, Vrusha. 8 branches are explained. One of them is the immunotherapy, the Rasayan Chikitsa, which is to avoid diseases. So to answer your question, if it is a licensed practitioner, thumbs up. But the most common problem that we see in today's time is medication, which we must first take a sankalp. Today's lecture itself, only when a doctor is guiding me, only when a MD medicine, MBBS, only a proper medicine doctor, if they have told me to take a medicine, I will take it. And as long as the doctor has told me to complete that course, I will complete it. Otherwise, unnecessarily, I will not self-medicate. Okay, so self-medication, we see Vikrut Rasa Evam Rakta Dhatu, the first tissue of our body and the second tissue of our body. There were 7 tissues: Rasad Raktam Tato Mausam Mausamed Prajayate, Medo Asti Tato Maja Maja Shukra Se Sambhava, which means there are 7 tissues: plasma, blood, muscle, fat, bone marrow, and the reproductive system. There are 7 tissues of our body. If these 7 tissues are destroyed, the body is destroyed. So these recurrent medication destroys the plasma and the blood cells. So if your plasma and the blood cell is destroyed, the only reason is the medications. And then it destroys the further system. It imbalances your pitta, which is the heat, the imbalance of the fire in the body. It destroys and changes the chemical composition of your blood. And we see disorders like blood cancer. So in our experience, in our learnings, what we've experienced in today's time, the reason for skin diseases, the reason for, again, diseases connected to the mind, we always commonly experience that medication. So any modern medication, even the allopathic practitioners are always suggesting you that take it under supervision. Don't unnecessarily consume any antacid. Okay. And if you do experience that, if your problem is recurring and relapsing and coming back over and over again, you consult a doctor again, you consult Ayurvedic practitioner, you consult any other practitioner if your problem is coming back again and again and again. Okay. I hope so far we are clear over here, right? Yeah. Talking about, we saw why it happens, what are the types, how do you diagnose? Now let us understand from food perspective. Let us understand from food perspective. It is very important to know that sour foods, sour items, spicy items, sour foods, sour items, which is spicy foods, sour items, and salty foods. Sour, spicy, and salty. Excess of these foods, it vitiates the pitta and it vitiates the blood. It increases and it changes and imbalances the chemical composition of the fire element in the body. We are all made up of 5 elements. Sarvam, Dravyam, Pancha Bhautikam, Asmin Arte. Every being is made up of 5 components in Ayurveda, it is said. So whenever the fire composition gets imbalanced in the body, we see all these kinds of conditions. I'll try to explain you in very, in one sentence. It is always said that the body must be 80% alkaline and 20% acidic to have the normal functioning of the body functions. But in today's time, we experience that it is 20% alkaline and 80% acidic. And hence we experience all these kinds of problems. So we as a patient, as a person, as a human must take charge and understand what are the reasons why the body is getting imbalanced. In the olden time, they used to fast on a Saturday evening. They used to fast on a Saturday evening, and Sunday morning, they used to take castor oil, 30 ml, 50 ml every week. They used to have loose motion because it is said Eranda tail is Vayostapan, anti-aging. If you ever seen my video on Instagram and YouTube about castor oil, if you have not, make sure you watch that. I will share that in the community group. Okay. Must watch. It is a 30-second clip that clarifies most of the things. In the olden time, people used to fast on a Saturday evening and they used to take castor oil Sunday morning, and they used to have a Sunday first half fast, and they used to start having light meal from Sunday evening, and then they used to start their week. But how do we spend our weekends? We all know about it, right? Our kind of weekends and their kind of weekends, right? So the very important part is you yourself, beat any skin disease. You try taking castor oil. हाँ now Bhavini ji will say, kadwa lagta hai, I don't like castor oil. No problem. There is castor X capsule also, it is made. So there are castor X capsule. Consult your Ayurvedic doctor. You can connect. You can ask us. So there are capsules also available. If you want your parents to be very, very healthy, tell them to fast on a Saturday and do the castor oil. Connect and we'll tell you the right amount. Do it. Do it for 1 month and see the positive changes. What is castor oil? It is snigdhagun, which means to all the joint which is worn out, which is dried out, to that skin which is drying, to that teeth which is degenerating, to the spine that is degenerating, to the joint that is degenerating, to all those areas where the oil is worn out. You give oil by lubricating your large intestine. By lubricating your large intestine. Pakwashay, large intestine is the stan of Vat. So if you work on your large intestine, the joint pains are resolved. So if you have that constipation, if you have that dry Vat related vyadis, if you want anti-aging effect, work on how you can lubricate the large intestine. Hence, some people think by drinking water, their Vat will be reduced. And if at all that was the case, I would really put water in my car and my bike when I do the servicing. But I don't do that, right? I put an engine oil. How we all put an engine oil. We put an engine oil for the lubrication. So our engine oil is the medicated oil or the castor oil. And I really want to tell you, you start taking castor oil for your parents, for yourself, and you will, whether you start with 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoon, you will see tremendous amount of change. In Ayurveda, it is said, right from 1 day child to 100-year-old person, castor oil is Vayostapan. The dose changes, but it is Vayostapan. It is beneficial for all. Not a single person will have loose motion plus weakness if they take castor oil. No, if they take it in the right amount by asking an expert, basically. It is only beneficial, 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 and no side effect. This was an example. So in the olden time, people used to always do the detoxification as well. Okay, people should do the detoxification as well. So my whole point of sharing is that if our acidic levels are reduced, no amount of the cells multiplication will happen. We will not move towards conditions like cancer or autoimmune condition. Talking about food perspective, what will be the number one food item that we wish to avoid? How many people want to do only one food? Only one food that is disaster to all health problems. One food. If you ask, type in the chat box, ask, ask, type ask, or just raise your hand. So I'll tell you only one food item, only one food item. Yeah, only one food item that is a disaster. I really want to take a lecture on that, a separate session in our upcoming, I will be taking, so that we both can be in touch and we can have question answer and build a community and have a proper understanding. Yeah, so everyone wants to know, right? One food item. So shall I give you the homework or okay, I'll give you the homework. Aisha, I'll give them a homework or I'll tell them the answer. Let's tell them the answer. Okay. Everyone is eager. Okay, I'll tell them the answer. So the one food item, which is one and only item, which is the problem, is a food, is a food that you keep in the refrigerator more than 24 hours. Hello, everyone. It's a food that you keep in the refrigerator for more than 24 hours. Everybody. It is the salad that you cut. It is the rice that you keep. It is the roti that you keep. It is any food that you keep in the refrigerator more than 24 hours. Remember, this is the cause of any autoimmune. I'm talking about very, very serious topic, right? Any autoimmune condition, the body system goes in harmony when we start doing this. So more than 24 hours, if we are keeping any fruit, food, vegetable, whatever it is in the fridge, and if it is a natural substance, of course, without preservative. I'm talking about preservative, by the way. Okay, you will talk about one of those packaged food. No, I'm talking about natural foods that comes from earth, right? So if any food that comes from Mother Earth, Mother Nature, we'll see that more than 24 hours it cannot be kept in the fridge. And again, in the coming session, I am looking forward to have a talk with all of you, if at all you all are interested, only about foods or only about fridge, refrigerator. If at all you all be interested, I would be very happy to connect with each one of you. Okay. In fact, ma'am, Jyoti ma'am is also looking forward, and she was very inquisitive to communicate with all of you and highlight different kinds of topics. So I thought and spoke to the team that I'll start with one of the session, and maybe then you can share other tips. Yeah, that. Everybody finding this interactive and helpful, right? Finding this helpful? Okay. So we must make sure that excess of sour foods, spicy food, and salty food, this must be avoided. In Ayurveda, it is said that you know, Yakrut is the Mulstan. Yakrut and Pliya is the Mulstan of the Raktavastrotas. Of all the blood channels, the root, the storehouse is the liver and the spleen. In Ayurveda, it is considered that liver is the master organ of the body. If the liver is healthy, the blood composition is to the point. If we really want our skin to be healthy, the liver plays the major role. The liver is the largest hormone of the body, right? Is the one of the most essential part of the body is the liver. And to keep any liver healthy, to reverse, I can openly, on a live video, I can share this, to openly reverse a condition like grade 2 liver cirrhosis, fatty liver, grade 3 even, to have the values on report. I will tell you that if we reduce and restrict salt, we will experience healthy liver. We'll experience the changes will start. For anybody who experience and ever tells me that psoriasis is not curable, I welcome them and I tell them to not take any medicine, but just reduce the salt and they will themselves see the changes. You know all psoriasis, right? Everybody knows psoriasis. The scaling, the white scales. For everybody, at least they visit here, they know, right? Scales. So those white scales, in a sarcastic way, I call that as the salt. So more salt in the inside, more salt on the outside. So if you restrict your salt, you will not have scaling. You'll not have the cuff. You'll not have that heavy scaling, right? Jihada ma'am is also there. Jihada, yeah, UK. Right. So ma'am, very important. Salt, sour, and spicy. These three. Samya is there. Welcome, Samya. This is for you. See, she comments over here and me. This is for Samya, yes. So salty food items, sour food items, spicy food item must be restricted. This is for healthy liver, for healthy pitta. If you ask me, how do I prevent my body from any kind of cancer, from any kind of autoimmune conditions, from any kind of blood cancer? The whole answer is pitta and rakta, fire element and blood composition. It stays in control when you avoid spicy. Now, how does it get better? See, the first line of treatment is avoiding the cause. In Ayurveda, it is said, Sankshipta Kriya Yoge Nidana Parivarjan, which means Nidan Parivarjan. The first step to cure is avoiding the cause. So how do you avoid the cause? By understanding the cause. So you understand the cause, you avoid it. And second is doing something that is opposite to the cause. So what is opposite to the cause is foods that are astringent, foods that is thick, which is kadava, which we don't like, right? So foods that are bitter, foods that are astringent. A simple one would be a soup of ash gourd, bottle gourd, every day. This is easily accessible across the globe. Every kind of a gourd, bitter gourd, bottle gourd, pointed gourd, ash gourd, muskmelon. If you consume all of these, in soup form, in cooked vegetable form, you will experience the body level is getting balanced. Here is imbalance, here is the balance. They are boring. Of course, they are boring, but if you connect with us, we will share you something that is not boring. Simple, right? Those foods are boring, but we can share it with you. And again, I'll tell you, come back to the first video that we saw. If the sankalp is here, if the vision is here, everything is possible. You see our great legend of India, Virat Kohli. He's not interested in any foods now. He's the legend, and that's one reason why he's the legend, right? Because he has the same food to achieve something. So if you really want to achieve something, we have to overcome that particular phase. And once you're cured from the disease, you can come back to the normal lifestyle. You can have a balance in good and bad. You can have a healthy lifestyle along with the joys and the enjoyment of the food and etc. I hope you can resonate with me, right? But if you really have a vision to do that weight loss, there is no achievement without sacrifice, right? There is no achievement without our sacrifice towards what we want to achieve, right? So if I want to achieve, I can have sleepless nights, right? If you want to achieve, you can have sleepless nights. You also love to sleep at night. I also love to sleep at night. But I make sure, as Dr. Raj, I wake up, I stay awake, I take flights over flights. I do my Thursday in Mumbai, Friday, Saturday in Dubai, and Sunday in India again. 14 hours OPD with sleepless nights, and I have zero kind of tiredness. One of those times when everybody used to sleep at night and go out, I remember I will make sure I have coffee, I study, I have coffee, I study, and I put the habit of having coffee and studying and being awake all night. So it is all about developing the habit. If you go in that habit, nothing is impossible. It is all about developing your habit. And if you get into that, why do some people have bad habit? Because we find joy in the bad habit. We all find joy in expressing, sir, I have a lot of stress. You know what? In my house, my mother is also in this meeting. I swear, she's corrected me all my life. Sadhna ma'am has met my mother. She's corrected me all my life. Whenever I say, ah, mama, I'm very tired, she's corrected me, and now I've stopped saying. And in fact, last night, I came home at 4 o'clock. We were at Nashik seminar. 7 a.m. we started the OPD. This is 9 o'clock. We're taking the session. So 4 a.m. I said, Mom, I'm feeling very energetic. Shall I go to the clinic now? She's like, because clinic is just next door. 4 a.m. we came home. So she's like, I told her, Mom, I'm feeling very energetic. I'll go to the clinic. I'll have a coffee. We'll start our day. I'll revise something for the session. I'll share it with people. She's like, no, you need sleep now. So we have gone in that habit. And I will tell you one thing. I'll take a separate session on that, but I want to tell you one thing. All habits start with how we use words. Words changes feelings, feelings change action, action changes results. I'm a firm believer of that, and I constantly motivate my own self by telling myself and others that words have the power to change anything and everything. You have seen Tare Zameen Par movie, everybody? And everybody, the tree, how they used to speak, and how the tree died, right? This is the real. It all starts from words, and how this guy, Morris Goodman, right? How this Morris Goodman, the author, how he said, I will walk by Christmas. He kept on saying, I will walk by Christmas. His action automatically changed. Either you change, either the universe changes. There is one thing common that I want to tell you. People often say, don't ask much from life. They say, hello, they say, don't ask much from life. But the first step to having anything in life is asking positively. Asking the partner that we want, asking the cure that we want, asking the life that we want. The first thing is to ask. Without, my mom says this very good example. बच्चा अगर रोएगा नहीं तो मम्मी दूध भी नहीं पिलाती. Right? If the child doesn't cry, how will the mother feed milk? Isn't it? So the child also has to cry. So the first step to universe is asking. If we ask, we receive. But how do we ask? We ask by giving. By giving, we receive. What do we give? We give efforts. We give gratitude. So we ask the universe, we give gratitude to the universe, and we receive. Hello, everyone. Right? We ask, we give. What do we have to give to the universe? Only one thing, Krutagnyata. Paropkar punyayam papayam parapidanam. Paropkar and Krutagnyata, which is gratitude. Which is gratitude. Everybody, hello, right? So what is that we can give to the universe? Universe has made us. So one thing is gratitude. By giving, we experience tons of cure. Unfortunately, I'm unable to speak for 30 minutes with each one. It's very difficult. So I try 10-15 minutes maximum, more than that. But the whole point of saying is when the words are changed, the actions are changed, the feelings are changed, the result is changed. And to everybody whom I have seen cured, the all 100% credits goes to the patient and only patient. And it is no medicine, it is no doctor, it is only patient that gets 100% credit for all the cure that they have ever received. And all our cured patients are also over here. Vanjani patient is there, sir, namaste. Yeah, so many people are here. So, right. So the whole thing is it starts from here. So my whole point of view, what we discussed, we saw the video of the great Morris Goodman. We learned about leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma. We spoke about the types. We spoke about why it happens, bruising, weight loss, loss of appetite. We spoke about some tests. I'll revise it. Leukemia, we saw BMT, bone marrow test. Lymphoma, we saw LDH. Myeloma, we saw blood calcium level. We saw CBC. Whenever you see your blood your WBC level have increased, you need to take some measures, right? You experience drastic weight loss, drastic hunger is gone, frequent exertion, tiredness, fainting, right? So all this can be reversed by taking care of the foods. We spoke about the foods, by having a positive mindset, and I'm really looking and expecting and looking forward from this session that to anybody who is taking treatment under us, who has taken under treatment us, or who has taken treatment in the past, to all those, whatever we wish to, let's all focus on that. And I'll tell you, by giving 20 minutes to a psoriasis patient, in the coming 20 days, I see a change. All autoimmune condition starts from mind. So now, after completing this session and after completing and being in Ayurveda for 10, 15 years, I understand why those classical, the world's first, like father of medicine was Acharya Charak. Father of surgery was Acharya Shushrut. And now I understand the meaning of why Acharya Charak used to say in the text, anger and grief and jealousy. I now understand of why he spoke about the 18 skin diseases, why he spoke about Mahakushta and Shudra Kushta, why he spoke as Charma Kushta, as lichen planus, Kitib Kushta, as psoriasis, why he spoke about skin diseases and jealousy. One of the, if you've seen my video of vitiligo, we've given a Daiva Pashray Karan. Daiva Pashray Karan is a spiritual reason. We've seen, and we've spoken in that video, cause and treatment also. Why do you have it and how do you correct your mistake? In vitiligo, we've spoken about if you disrespect and insult your teacher, elder, if you disrespect, why do people tend to develop vitiligo, which is the white patch, leukoderma, such a disheartening disease? And I've also given a upay, given a solution for that. And in the vastavikta, in the real practice, we see the changes as well. So after years of practice, now we realize that if you're dealing with a major big disease, we need small corrections. Disrespect, anger, disobeying your parent because they are loved ones, so we can say anything to them. This is very, very wrong. Start expressing gratitude, start showing love, and love comes back. I see so many kids over here disrespecting the parents. I see so many parents hitting their child. I see so many wives having disputes with husbands, so many husbands having disputes with wives. In circle, we are all, it's very important to understand that we are all in one team. The family is in one team, right? So and first thing comes from realization, and realization comes from the words we use. Words come from the experiences we've had. Where do words come from? Words come from the experiences we've had. From the friend, it is said we are one of the 5 people that we roam around. So all those experiences are those that make up these words. What are those words? My psoriasis will never go, because some doctors or some therapists or some friends of yours told you this will never go. So today over here, legit, I will tell you, in 15 minutes of consultation, 30 times the sentence is, my psoriasis, he said it will not be cured. My psoriasis, he said it will not be cured. So it's high time we come together and we only speak about positive aspects. If you've had 5% of your skin with skin problem, and if you have 95% positive, let's focus on 95% positive. If you have a really positive skin with one small acne, let's talk about the positive skin. And you will experience that you will fall in love with your skin. If not, then at least there will be hundreds who will fall in love with your skin, irrespective of whether you have that boil or not. Trust me. And Bhavini ji is nodding their head. Okay. So I want to tell everybody that it's high time that we focus on positive aspect, positivity, and positivity grows. That's the whole point. If you really liked the session, give me thumbs up. The YouTube live is there, so you can just put thumbs up later on after 1-2 hours when this video is posted on YouTube. I am really very happy to see you all, and I'm really looking forward that next week we will again meet and we will again talk on a very interesting topic. Would you be up for that? Yeah? Would you be up for that? Yes. We'll be talking about something very, very important, as we spoke in this. So how many people are going to take that sankalp? How many people are going to take that oath of 100% attention on positive? And I will really be over here listening to your case studies, which will motivate me and others to think about positive. Okay, so we will take a 7 days challenge. Everyone over here, we will take a 7 days of challenge, which starts from today and not tomorrow. Today, that everything that I have positive, I will just tell it to my own self. I will tell it to my own self, everything positive that I have. I have a good job. I have a good boss. I run a good business. I am a good boss with good team. My team is good. My husband is really good, right? My wife is really good. My parents are amazing. My parents are really amazing. My children are amazing. So we will manifest these things for 7 days. And I'm not talking about 70, 90, which is a 100% yes to success, but I'm talking about 7 days experiences that I really want to hear from you. And after 7 days, we will again meet and we will share those stories and mails that we receive from patients here. Okay. So be it any disease, either it's high time that the universe will start working for us from today. Everybody, right? We are working for the disease, let universe work. And for anyone, I will stop the meeting in just one sentence. Okay. The target that you want to achieve, the life that you want to have, let's express gratitude and positivity. But the last sentence that I want to tell you, to everybody, over here who feels कि ये सब फिजूल की बातें हैं, these are all things to just speak. How many? I would be very happy to, please, I will be very happy to know from you. Sir, these are all just things to say. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. Tatpalya ji, please, everybody. All these things that you say, sir, बोलने से अच्छा होगा. If I talk positive, my skin will clear. 20 साल में नहीं हुआ. In 20 years, this is not improved. How will it improve? Please, everybody, tell me. Everybody, there should be at least one person because I was the one of those time, right? For all those people, the master sentence of this session, I want to tell you, my dear friends, the master sentence of this session is to everybody who says, I will stop after this, okay? Master and the main punchline, you can say, to all those people who experience that these things do not work, I want to tell you that it is 100% already working for you. I want to tell you that it is 100% already working for you if you are the one who's saying that things are not working for you. Hello. Right? If you've been saying that these things are not working, let me tell you, the universe is making it happen for you. Right? So it's high time to take a step, to take an oath, and I'll be very happy to have your feedback in 7 days. We'll meet in 1 week. Namaste, everyone. Thank you. I express gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Namaste.
you.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ratsa, for taking such a great session. And thank you so much to all our dear patients. I won't say patient, but the Jyovis family. I am really blessed. We all are really blessed to have you today.
Anyone who wants to join in,
Thank
please.
you so
Send the
much.
link of the group.
Will do.
Everybody can join our
Yes,
community
doctor.
group. No problem.
Okay, doctor. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. And the community link I would be sending on the particular group, so you can share with your friends and family who are willing and who likes the lectures on based on Ayurveda and such a useful information. So yeah, thank you once again, everyone. Take care.
Thank